I'm at the Super Bowl, and it hits me so hard in the back, like, and I turn around, I was like, oh, hey, John, how you doing, buddy? When this hit me so hard, like, hey, what else? And I was like, so now I'm in fight mode. I'm about to, whoever it is, I'm swinging. I turned around, and it was John by himself. And I looked, and I was like, oh, hey, what's up, John? How you doing, buddy? Question, will we ever see John Jones versus Alex Pereira?
Possibility. I mean, Rogan is pushing me right now to try to make that fight.
Yeah, I do it big, big, big. I'm coming to win. I do it big, big, big. Say it again. I do it big, big, big. I'm coming to win. I do it big, big, big. Say it again. I do it big. I do it big, big, big. Say it again. I do it big.
This weekend, Jake Paul will take on one of UFC's best, Mike Perry, in one of the most anticipated events of the summer, and you do not want to miss it. I've partnered with DraftKings Sportsbook for the fight, and right now, all new customers who bet just $5 will get $150 in bonus bets instantly. Download the DraftKings app now and sign up using my promo code BIGPOD, and the crown is yours. That's right. New customers can bet just $5 on anything and receive $150 in bonus bets instantly. Stay in the action and use your $150 in bonus bets on DraftKings same-game parlays for a shot at an event bigger payout. Combine multiple bets together from the same game. If sports betting is not available in your state, don't worry. DraftKings is one-stop shop for all things daily fantasy, where you can join in on all the fun and have a shot to win cash prizes. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now. New customers use my promo code BIGPOD and bet just $5 on any wager and get $150 in bonus bets instantly. That's promo code BIGPOD only at DraftKings Sportsbook.
All right, Shaquille, it is that time where I teach you white guy betting, compliments of our good friends, DraftKings Sportsbook.
I'm in Vegas. I'm up. That's all you need to know right now.
Have you made bets in Vegas?
Yes.
Black guy bets or white guy bets?
Black guy bets. Craps.
So what? Give me one. Oh, craps is a black guy thing?
Yes, craps is a black guy thing.
Blackjack, white or black guy?
Hold on. Minus the odds.
So you're just like putting things on the table.
No, so like if I roll a 6,
yeah,
then the side bet is, hey, I bet you roll a 6, or I bet you
that's
don't roll a
craps.
6. Yeah.
Yes.
That's
Blackjack,
craps.
white or black guy thing?
Black guy thing.
Okay.
Roulette, black guy thing.
What's a white guy thing?
Baccarat.
I would say that's an Asian guy thing.
Well,
They're unbelievable at it.
I wasn't going to say that, but
okay.
You can say
What
that.
about sports betting? White guy thing or black guy thing?
It's an everybody thing, but
okay.
listen, I'm 50 years old, so 50 years I've been doing it this way, so you just have to teach me the other way. So I want to thank you and DraftKings for educating me. So go ahead.
DraftKings has opened up their vault to me because me and producer Shane said, I need information, DraftKings. You have all the information. So I wanted to know, since the finals, whose odds have changed the most because of free agency and the draft? Which teams are most likely to win the championship? So I got some teams where a lot of things have changed, and I want you to guess the odds because I think we've done this a few times, and I think you might understand odds more.
Got it.
New York Knicks, after the finals, they were 16-1 to win the finals, which means you bet 100, you win
1,600.
Nailed it. After free agency and the draft, what do you think their odds are now? Now, little Lefko tip. If your odds get better, the number gets smaller. If your odds get worse, the number gets bigger. So they were 16-1, New York. What are they now?
Can you tell me what they did?
They went out there and they made a huge trade with Brooklyn. They united all of the Villanova players together. Shaq doesn't seem impressed.
Jeez, they're minus 18 now, whatever.
They are 8.5-1, so they've almost gotten double better in terms of their odds.
Actually, they haven't got double better. Stop it.
Well, I'm trying to connect with you here.
The Villanova bandwagon is over. Trust me on that.
Philadelphia, after the finals, they were 14-1, and you're already shaking your head. You like their moves.
3-1, Philadelphia.
8-1.
Not bad. Not bad.
There's value there in Shaq's white guy betting mind.
Yes, it is.
Okay, 2 more. Oklahoma City. They made a trade with Chicago. They got the great defender Alex Caruso. They also signed Isaiah Hartenstein, who we learned on the Playmaker Network is actually black. Didn't know that was the case. Really happy for him. They were 8.5 to 1. What are they now?
Well, they went from 8 to 12.
They're still 8.5 to 1. It was a trick question.
Got it.
Okay. And then the last one, Chicago, who's literally just giving people away. DeMar DeRozan's now on the Kings. As I mentioned, Caruso on Oklahoma City. They were 40 to 1. What are they now?
What do they do with Zach LaVine?
He's just sitting there, and he's apparently can't even be traded. They tried to call up Golden State, and they wouldn't take him.
50 to 1.
100 to 1. Chicago is irrelevant, according to our friends at DraftKings.
So this is for them to win the championship.
Yes.
So if
you put $1,000, you'd win $1 million.
Okay, if I put $1 million, how much am I win?
$100 million.
I think we should do it.
On the Chicago Bulls to win the championship.
Okay, but hold on. What if they make some miraculous trades during the season? Is our bet still good?
I'm just going to tell you, ain't no way Chicago is doing it.
But brother, I'm just asking.
You're trying to win $100 million, and I get it.
I'm just saying.
This is white guy betting. But I'm trying to tell you.
No, but I'm just saying, what if I'm an idiot that makes that bet and then they do some miraculous trades? Is my bet still good?
It's called locking in value.
I might do that.
Okay. And that was White Guy Sports Betting, where Shaq is going to bet $1 million on Chicago.
I might do that.
Okay. I heard you the first time.
It's only $1 million.
Damn.
It's only $1 million.
It's only $1 million. Please do not.
I'm going to get 4 guys
Give me the $1 million. Can I tell you what to do with it? And we can bet on Chicago. We can bet on Angel Reese rebounds, and we will make $100 million. You can trust me on that.
Okay, but you're not paying attention. I'm going to get 10 of my friends that's not afraid to lose $100,000, and we do it. Think about that.
They still have to
win. But if we don't win $100,000, we lost $100,000. Whoopie freaking do.
You can't say that. There's like normal people here where $100,000
This is my money. I can do it. I can say, hey, I'm Charles Barkley.
Shaq, we have a very special guest here on the Big Podcast where we always do it.
Big.
It is your good friend. Can I give him a proper introduction?
Yes, you can.
When it comes to bald white guys, it is Statham, Bezos, and him. If it's a competition of who gives less, your odds of beating this man are very slim. In a world where it seemed impossible to crack the club of NFL, NBA, MLB, this man has people across the globe clamoring for UFC. A master marketer, a curator of talent, and unhealthy appetite for risk, this man's upcoming event at the Sphere will leave his competitors as irrelevant as Laserdisc. From Manchester, Connecticut, the true captain of chaos, Dana frickin' White.
I have a confession.
Please do it.
Dana is the only person I've ever received a gift from. Remember what you gave me?
Yes.
What?
Well, and it's very mutual. The watch.
Bro, he called me in Vegas one time, him and his old partners. Thought I was in trouble. They come and said, Dana wants to meet you. I was like, for what? Because we've been friends for a long time, never bother. I'll call him once in a while to come to the event.
You don't like to ask for favors.
I don't. But he kept saying, Dana wants to meet you. Dana wants to meet you. So I get in this room, and it's him and his partner, and they're talking. I'm like, okay, did I do something? I said something wrong? And they give me this watch. I don't usually take it. That had so many diamonds in it, I had to take it. And you know what's crazy? I can't find that watch for nothing.
Oh, it got stolen?
No. It's like I got 10 houses. Like it's in one of my safes, and I cannot find that watch for anything. But yeah, him.
Well, what's the story?
Here's the story. He's being Shaq as usual. We didn't just say, hey, get Shaq over here and whatever. Shaq did a lot of very good things for us early on when we were trying to build the UFC. Much like Joe Rogan, there's the Joe Rogan story where Joe did the first 12 or 13 shows for free. So when we're launching The Ultimate Fighter Season 1, Shaq came in and laid down one of the baddest commercials for The Ultimate Fighter that you will ever see.
No buzzers. No checkered flags. In ultimate fighting, it only ends when the other guy is ready to break, when he has to tap out. I know. I've seen it up close. I've seen athletes fight till they have nothing left. Grown men begging for mercy, who will be the next Ultimate Fighter? Now that I want to see.
And what's crazy is when we went in to film this, he did it in one take.
That's how he
So
is.
when you wonder why this dude's on 787,000 commercials, okay, he came in and just laid this thing down, one take on The Ultimate Fighter, and it was awesome.
I was going to ask you, was there a celebrity that showed up to a UFC fight where you went, wow?
So
And then is it Shaq?
Shaq was all over this thing out the gate from day one. He loved it. He was a fan. And being the unbelievable, amazing human being that he is, he came over and did that for us. So we didn't just, hey, Shaq, here's a watch. Shaq has always been an unbelievable friend, you know, a big heart. Never, anything is never about, like, I'm late as hell to this podcast.
You're not
right
late.
now.
Cut it out.
Late as hell.
No, you're not.
And I came in and I said, I'm sorry. I owe you big. And he's like, you owe me nothing, just friendship. You know how he is. You're around him. You know how he is. There's this clip that I just saw maybe 2 days ago on the, it's so Shaq, it's unbelievable. So they got to be in Abu Dhabi, because sitting in the middle of them is my good friend Mohammed from Abu Dhabi, and Steve Harvey's on the end. Little kid comes by, shakes Steve Harvey's hand. He comes over to Shaq. Shaq grabs the kid and hugs him for like, you know, a minute, and it's just like, that is what life is all about.
It is.
And that is what this dude is all about.
I want to clarify something. Do you know when I got introduced to the UFC?
When?
So I'm in Hawaii with the Lakers in training camp, and me and Uncle Jerome is walking, and the kid jumps on my back. Like, he jumps on my back. I'm getting ready to him up. It's Vitor Belfort.
Yeah, okay.
So he jumps on my back. He's like, no, I'm a fan of yours. We're doing this fight thing. Was that UFC 1?
No. Vitor Belfort was obviously, he was fighting in the UFC when he was 18.
Wow.
But what year was that? What year was that you were in?
I want to say.
So it's before 2004.
No, yeah. So I want to say 98, 99. But that's how I seen that sport. And then when I seen it, I fell in love with it. But that's the first time I say he jumped on my back, and I'm attempting to come up like I'm doing it. He's like, no, brother, no. And he had 2 tickets. He said, I want you to come to this fight. And he fought this big 7-foot dude in a cowboy suit.
Yeah, that wasn't UFC. That was some other event.
Okay, got it.
At the time, what you're talking about, you're not wrong. Hawaii was a hotbed for MMA, man. It was everybody out there trained, and, you know, all those kids from Hawaii are scrappy little fighters, man. And there were lots of shows. So when we first bought the UFC, I used to fly to Hawaii like once a month because there were all kinds of shows there. We would go watch the shows.
Got it. Okay.
So yeah, that totally makes sense.
I was listening to Shaq's good friend Shannon Sharp's podcast that he did with you, and he was asking you about basketball players that could maybe do UFC, and of course, Shaq's name came up.
Yep.
Could you even imagine if all of his energy as a youth had gone just to MMA, what this could have been?
100%. I mean, this maniac used to call me all the time. I'm telling you, Dan, I'm gonna fight. I'm gonna fight in the UFC. I'm training. We're gonna. I said,
hey, I want to knock these.
So he would just call you randomly and be like, I want to fight.
all the time, or text me. He texts me all the time telling me, yeah, 100%. Yeah.
I wrestled Forrest Griffin. Here it is right here. Undefeated champion, Godzilla Gorilla. I'll fight anybody in this building today.
I think me and Shaq are going to fight till the death.
I think Shaq going to take that W. Right? 2 Hall of Famers going right after.
Come to you, Forrest. He's the strongest ever. I couldn't submit him. I don't know if he was taking it easy on me, but he couldn't submit me. But after that, I was sore.
What would you say was the peak of your powers? Like the strongest youthful, what year? 2000?
It's not about that. This is why
I had a follow-up, but okay.
This is why I started Shaq Versus. Every guy sits on the couch and looks and says, I can do it. I'm 7'3", Of course I can fight Mighty Mouse. In my mind.
Yeah.
But I know when I get out there, he's going to, leg lock, submit and all that. So I like to fight, used to. And so like whenever I watch a UFC event, I always say, I think I can do it. I trained for it with my guy, John Burke out of Orlando. It actually helped me win 3 championships because when I trained for basketball and then had to go to the season and they would wrestle me, I would get tired. But when I trained wrestling, I was in shape, and we won 3 years in a row. So every time I did my UFC training, I won. This episode of the Big Podcast with Shaq is brought to you by The General. You know Shaq loves The General. Before the league, before the rings, before I got my big break, I've been rocking with The General. The General has been offering quality coverage for 60 years. You already know The General was there for Shaq when I needed him. Low rates and flexible payment options to keep you covered. If you're ready for your big break, you know what to do. Visit thegeneral.com to get a quote today. Again, visit thegeneral.com to get a quote today. And it wouldn't be the Big Podcast without The General. Today's episode is brought to you by Morgan & Morgan. As the NBA's most dominant big men of all time, I'm living proof that size matters. And the same should go for your law firm. Morgan & Morgan is America's largest injury law firm with over 100 offices nationwide and more than 1,000 lawyers. If you're ever injured, you can check out Morgan & Morgan. Their fee is free unless they win. For more information, go to forthepeople.com/thebig or dial #law. That's #529 from your cell phone. Again, that's forthepeople.com/big or #law 529 from your cell. This is a paid advertisement. Question, UFC. Will we ever see John Jones versus Alex Pereira?
Possibility. I mean, Rogan is pushing me right now to try to make that fight. It's just, guys, let me explain something to you. John Jones is a whole nother. I consider John Jones the greatest combat fighter of all time. When you talk about the Alis and the this and the that.
Oh, and that, wow.
And let me tell you what, I got Ali's picture hung everywhere. I love Muhammad Ali.
Yeah.
I love Mike Tyson. John Jones is the nastiest dude ever in the history. And I always say this about John's got a dark side to him, man. John's got like those dogs that'll rip your arms apart and do all that. He shoots guns. John Jones is a killer in every way that you can be. When the stuff was going on during COVID and there was riots and people were spray painting down, John Jones like went into town and was taking spray cans out of people's hands and slapping them and saying, "Go home. You're not up my town." And like, I mean, this John Jones is, you know.
My follow-up question was going to be, Shaq at the peak of his powers. I've heard the way you speak of John Jones.
No.
How would that have gone?
Not good.
Yeah, not
If
good.
Shaq had gone evil too, because I think
Let
Shaq
me tell you
could
my
go-
John Jones story.
Okay, please.
I'm at the Super Bowl, and it hits me so hard in the back, like, and I turn around. I was like, "Oh, hey, John, how you doing, buddy?" When this hit me so hard, like, "Hey, what is that?" And I was like, "Ah!" So now I'm in fight mode. I'm about to whoever it is, I'm swinging. I turned around, and it was John by himself. And I looked, and I was like, "Oh, hey, what's up, John? How you doing, buddy?" He's like,
Anybody
"Hey,
else?
Shaq, I'm a big fan of you." But yeah, he is a nasty.
Yeah,
What I love about UFC is, different from the NBA. Every 3 to 4 years, new stars emerge. Like I've been there. I've been there from the beginning.
Yeah.
Tank, Superman. What was his name? The guy with the funny legs. Superman.
the guy with the funny legs.
Yes, he had funny legs. He was tall.
Oh, Tim Sylvia.
Yes.
Tim Sylvia. Yeah. Okay.
Tim Sylvia. Like I've been around those
Sorry,
guys.
Tim, for insulting your funny leg.
Cabbage.
He does have funny legs.
Cabbage. All these guys.
Oh yeah, Cabbage Pereira. That dude was nasty at the time too. He's fun to watch.
Who are your favorite fighters? Give me your top 5 favorite fighters of all time. It doesn't matter the era. Just
Yeah, not best,
Yes.
favorite.
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 Yeah.
Favorite.
I mean, you got my two all-time favorites, the two people that were the best to ever deal with and that I absolutely love, Chuck Liddell, Ronda Rousey. Ronda Rousey's the greatest athlete I've ever worked with by 100 miles, okay? And then Conor McGregor has been a great athlete to work with for me. Let me think. I mean, there's been...
When you
the
say that
whole
about Ronda,
list-
because I've heard you say that, is it
The
in
best
terms
ever.
of her ability to handle the spotlight? What do you mean was the best to work with?
First of all, her belief in herself that she could do anything, right, is what ended up being her downfall, because she ended up becoming so big and so popular that she took on so many different things at the same time. Meanwhile, all the other women in the division are just training to beat Ronda. Exactly. Right? You break Ronda down and you just figure out how to beat Ronda. Ronda took everything on her back and carried it, and she would never say no to anything. And and she's one of the greatest human beings ever. I love everything about her, and I loved my time that I worked with her. Not to mention the fact that she's the one that opened my eyes to women fighting, and look at what you see now when you see these women fight.
So you said Rousey, Liddell. Who else do you have on that top 5 favorites?
Conor McGregor.
Conor McGregor.
Yeah. Conor McGregor.
John Jones.
No. He didn't say best ever.
Yeah, you said
greatest to work with.
Okay, go.
Yeah.
Tito.
The Tito's been awesome. Yeah, another great guy. Yeah.
It's been interesting.
Listen, and that's the thing about when I talk about John Jones. Like, it's not like I'm trying to say, these other people that had great relationships are the greatest of all time.
No.
John Jones and I have not had a great relationship as far as business goes. But that doesn't, twist my judgment.
Right.
He is the greatest combat fighter of all time. Period. End of story. There's not even an argument.
And I could tell how you speak of him. It's all about respect.
100%.
And this is what I tell people all the time. I don't get along with a lot of people. Like, I don't get along with Charles, but I respect him.
Right.
Right? I didn't get along with the great Kobe, but I respect him. That's why we won championships. And that's okay. People want you to be lovey-dovey, and it's not always like that for whatever reason. But I could be, you know what? Before you did this podcast, I've watched you say that 100,000 times about him, and I agree with everything he says.
It's an absolute fact.
Been having fun.
This bag of Shaq-A-Licious XL gummies, which I didn't know until just this moment, is little Shaq faces, and I'm a little bit freaked out, but they're very delicious, has been around Vegas to all of the landmarks. Later tonight, it will be with DJ Diesel. Right now, it is on the set of the Big Pod. Take a look at how it got here. I feel weird eating Shaq's face, but it is delicious.
Bite me.
Oh.
Was that okay? Oh, it is good.
Okay. I hope I'm not pushing boundaries. Conor McGregor and Max Holloway. Will we see it? Yes or no?
If Conor McGregor fights again, it's obviously a great fight. It's a great fight. Him and Chandler is a great fight too. Conor and Chandler's a great fight. There's a lot of fights out there for Conor. The Conor thing is much like Ronda. I mean, if you look at Ronda, so many opportunities fell on Ronda because of who she was and her personality, her looks, everything that she had as a package ended up being her downfall, right? It's just the money and everything else. Ronda went from living in her car to being so extremely wealthy that she doesn't have to work. She doesn't have to do anything. She's got a great life. She's got like 3 or 4 houses and great places and all these things. And Conor McGregor is 10 times that. When that kind of money becomes, involved in the fight business, it's tough, man.
I can imagine. UFC 304 coming up July 27th. That's in Manchester, England. Your first time back there since 2016, so that'll be cool. Here in Vegas, I drove by the Sphere. I saw UFC on it. Everyone's been talking about that coming up September 14th. That'll be really exciting. You were talking about Conor, and I remembered you on stage while he was talking about Floyd Mayweather and being like, "You carry a school bag, you little boy." When you're around someone with such incredible mic skills and you have no idea what's going to come, what is it like for you on stage? As an audience member, we're loving it. What is it like for you?
That tour was so fun for me. That was a great moment in my life.
Oh, yeah. You're just like a little schoolboy.
Him and Floyd through that whole thing, it was amazing. And, I can't stand the guy from Showtime. And when he walked up to him and called him the Weasel in England.
Right.
And, he's like, if there was ever a man that looks like a weasel, that's it right there. And then he looks at him like, what you going to do? You're going to do something? You sit there and shut your mouth. Everybody hates that guy.
Right.
And when Conor did that, I mean, every stop that we did, it was something different and something new. And Floyd is so brilliant. I mean, Floyd just was a part of the whole thing and did his thing. It's one of the highlights of my career. Being on that world tour. It was amazing.
Those felt like pay-per-views. The press conferences felt like pay-per-views.
Those things were massive. They were all sold out. You couldn't get into those things.
I've seen
the press conference.
I've seen you talk about how meticulous you are. I'm curious. Pay-per-view, let's say UFC 304. The morning of the fight, of the event, what are you like? What time are you waking up? What is it like for you that day?
The day of the event is really, really chill for me. I mean, leading up that week is all the work and we're the bells and whistles. That's what we do, right? The day the fight's starting, the torch gets passed over to the fighters. I've done my job. All the bells and whistles are done.
You're just shaking hands.
They need to get in there and deliver. That's it. What I do is I make sure, when Shaq shows up and our sponsors, that everybody's having a good time. Everybody's taken care of. Everybody's treated well. And then the fighters take over and they do what they do.
Dana, I've come to you about different fight leagues. You've been a friend and a mentor. Like, should I invest? You always say no. Who the hell introduced you to the pimp slap thing? And how many meetings did it take before you decided to be part of this? Because I actually love it.
So here's what happened. I'm on social media and I start to see Dumpling, the guy who just fought on the last one for us, out of Russia, slapping. And I'm like, holy, this is crazy, right? And I found myself, listen, I consider myself every man, every fight fan. I'm as much of a fight fan like you and everybody else. So I wasn't like, this is ridiculous. I was like, holy shit, I want to see what's going to happen. Psh, oh my God. Is he going to knock? Psh. I just keep watching this stuff and I take a deeper dive into this. This thing looks like it's shot in a barn on a flip phone, right? And I dive in and I look on YouTube. It's got 300. This is in like 2017 or 18. It's got 350 million views.
Just dudes slapping
at that
each other.
time, that's like a Justin Bieber video,
No
right?
doubt.
I'm like, this is incredible. So I start to think about it. What if I did this, put on the right production, got it sanctioned, turn it into a sport? I think this thing could be huge. And the answer is 7 billion views.
Jeez.
This thing's been around for 17 months. It's done over 7 billion views. It is the most successful thing I've ever been a part of in such a short amount of time. Where Power Slap is right now in 17 months, it took the UFC 10 years to get there.
So what's today's date?
Today is July. We're recording this on July 10th.
Yeah.
September 19th, me versus you, Charles Barkley. I'm going to smack the shit out of you.
Oh, I love it.
September 19th. All right, Dan, the last question because we know you got to go. I saw a kids MMA event. I don't want to put the UFC time, but it kind of looked like UFC for kids. Are you for or against that?
I'm against it. And listen, the greatest thing that you can do for your kids, put your kids in jiu-jitsu, put your kids in Muay Thai, have your kids box, do these things that keep them physically active. They get stronger. They get better. They become more self-confident. If they're ever in a situation, which we all end up in at some point in life, they're confident that they can defend themselves. They won't get bullied. They won't get picked on. But putting 2 little kids in to fight,
Scary.
having them fight, it's not my thing. Now, there's bad like Habib Nurmagomedov and some of these other guys that grew up doing that.
Yeah.
In the
gulag.
And I always talk about how soft America is. That we're turning into a bunch of, if anything ever. Habib and his crew could probably come wipe out half the country. You know what I mean? Because that's how all these guys grew up. They grew up hard. These guys grew up in Dagestan. Maybe I'm wrong, and maybe I'm part of soft America now too. I just don't like putting kids in those situations.
Because I saw a kids event. These kids have swag.
They're killers.
No, like they come out, they're just talking, and they're doing all the moves.
You love that shit.
I actually like that.
All right, so
he's not wrong.
I have one last thing, and I know we have to wrap. Well, I think the greatest thing you ever did was do a baddest title belt.
Right.
I actually want to bring that to TNT, and I think that I want to steal that actually in the NBA. The thing I wanted to say though is
because that's my belt. I'm the better. TNT.
I'm a gambler. I love to gamble.
Yep.
I know you have a healthy appetite for it as well. Would there ever be a time, the right table, the right situation, where somebody said, put up UFC? Would there ever be a time where you would be so into the risk that you would be like, all right, I'll bet UFC?
So there's like 3 of the most powerful companies in the world that own everything. Silver Lake owns the UFC. I don't own it.
Yeah, you sold it.
Okay? Yeah. Silver Lake owns the UFC.
Yeah.
Me and Ari and all these other guys, we're just You know, we work for these guys. So
okay.
I couldn't put up the UFC. But I'll tell you this, and none of the casinos, if any of you casinos are listening, you got the balls, you let me know. I'll go $1 million a hand. I would love to bet $1 million a hand
blackjack.
Before, or baccarat or whatever. Before I die.
Told you.
Yeah, white guys.
Before I die, $1 million a hand. Me versus you, $1 million a hand. Give me a $30 million credit line, and let's go.
I've seen that you have a target number. Would you just go, or is it to hit a number and get out?
Well, listen.
Or is it a time?
That's what these try to do to you.
They want to like
so
3
what
hours,
they do is,
10 hours.
Yeah, we'll do that, but you have to play for no, f you. If I win 2 hands and I win $2 million, I'm leaving, right? But if you beat me, you know, there's a number where I'm going to tap too, right? If I have a $30 million credit line, f you. You're this big, you know, massive company, and you're telling me I got to play for 4 hours? Get the f out of here.
I would like you to be my partner.
Deal.
He's teaching me about odds, so I'll let him explain it. If we bet $1 million and the Chicago Bulls, who have the worst odds ever, win it, we win $100 million. I'll put in 500, you put, or I'll put in 250, you put in 250, we'll get Ari to put in 250, and we'll get in Collins.
You don't have to bet on the Chicago Bulls.
I want that $100 million. What the fuck
there are other teams with really long odds.
No, I want the Chicago Bulls. I was just giving him
teams odds, and he was like, wait, they're 100 to 1? So if I bet $1 million, I win $100 million?
Yes.
You could bet on the Charlotte Hornets. We talked about this.
Charlotte Hornets suck.
Shaq, that's crazy. How about you put up 500 and I put up 500? We play baccarat where we can actually win.
Actually, I don't know how to play
baccarat. He's a craps guy. He likes craps.
I like craps.
Do you like craps?
You can financially. I like craps, but man, you got to go on a roll for craps. And you can't walk away from craps with like millions of dollars unless you like really know how to play and you go on an unbelievable roll. Baccarat? Baccarat is the closest. I just got into this recently. That you white guy game? No, no, it's a Chinese game. It ain't a white guy game.
I didn't say that.
Listen, it's a Chinese game. The Chinese know it. They own that. I literally go down to Caesars. I learned from the Chinese.
Absolutely.
I sit down there and I watch them and I listen to them.
Copy them.
And let me tell you who doesn't lose. Chinese women, man. I see the Chinese guys lose all the time. Chinese women are good.
Chinese woman watched me lose $1,000 in blackjack, and she just shook her head and then put her money down. I was like, she knew something.
The women have more patience than the men do. They sit there and fill out those cards and do the. I'm telling you, they taught me how to play baccarat.
There it is. That's the clip. Everybody give it up for Dana White.
Thank you, brother. Appreciate you. Love you.
You too.
Great. I do want to gamble so bad.
We going to the game?
Me too.
You going to the game? The USA versus Canada?
Well, talk to me about this Chicago Bulls thing. I'm in on some form of this.
You know, the one thing General is known for is the big break. And we normally ask our guests, you know, what was your big break, your big breakthrough moment? We want to give one of our fans of the Shaq Pod, the Big Pod, a big break. We got him on the desk right now. Who are you? What's your name? Welcome to the show, my man.
And tell him your fraternity.
The only one that counts. My name is Carlos Wiley. I'm from New Jersey, retired military, 27 years.
Thank you for your service.
Yep. It's an honor and a privilege. And I'm a part of the greatest fraternity ever, Omega Psi Phi Fraternity Incorporated.
Till you die.
Yes. Until the day I die.
So I know you have a question, but I've always been fascinated. Could you imagine if Shaq was in your pledge class? What do you think that would have been like?
Well, he would have been the tail dog. He would have been at the end because of his height. But no, I'm pretty sure. I mean, it would have been fantastic.
I have found footage of him in the 90s doing.
Stop.
Okay, sorry. Statute of limitations. All right, so you have a question.
Yes, I do.
Yes.
So we know as the league, a lot of the players are getting up in age, but who's the next player to get the big break that you believe is going to become the next major face of the league?
Okay, that's a two-part answer. The guy who just got his big break was Tyrese Maxey.
Oh.
Last year, 2 years ago, backing up James Harden was a backup. His big break, James Harden leaves, traded, whatever. They put him in position to shine. He shined. Just signed $240 million contract. $244 million. He signed that. That's a break. The next star. I saw a post the other day. Kind of made me feel like when I was going out. It says, "Enjoy these players now. KD, LeBron, Steph, Draymond, Clay. Enjoy them now because soon they're going to be gone." So give me a few seconds to think about who's going to be the next.
I thought the name you were going to say was Anthony Edwards, because I thought the playoffs were sort of the crowning him as next.
Okay, but so let me ask you a question. When you say the big star, are you talking money-wise or status-wise?
Face of the league.
Okay, face of the league. So you have to understand, it starts with Magic, right? Dominant, won championships. Everybody loved him, had the smile, right? And then went to Mike. Godly. Didn't really smile, but he was just so godly. He's the next. And after him, shuffling around a little bit, I had it because of my dominance and my Magic Johnson, the smiles. Kobe, dominance. LeBron, superior dominance. Steph Curry, the way he changed the game. Anthony Edwards, Luka Doncic, Wemby's too tall. They're definitely going to go with a little guy. Nobody roots for Goliath.
What about a Tatum or a Brown?
No.
Okay.
No. I love Tatum. I love Brown, but
Brunson.
And it's crazy. This is what turned me into the Shaq. Somebody said you don't have that it factor. I don't even know what that means. But when
someone said that to you?
Yeah, in college, and I was like, I don't know what that means, and then that's why I start studying. I'm like, why do they like Magic Johnson? Just smiles all the time. Yeah. Why do they like Patrick Ewing? Was he? Oh, he growled. Okay, boom, 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 boom. Why do they like Mike? He's godly. So I put all that together, put it in my head, and I created Shaq. Wemby's too tall. Right, we'll go ahead. Luka, Edwards. I'm missing the name.
I mean, you normally say Halliburton, but I don't know if he's in that discussion.
He's almost there, but no.
SGA has been in that discussion, but I don't know if his style is like face of the league status.
See, like LeBron had that it factor. Came in at 18, Sports Illustrated.
Booker.
Everybody was saying you're not going to make it, and he's just never been in trouble, always been on top, has the championships. Did the controversial thing, went to Miami, won 2, went back to Cleveland, haven't won in 50 years, won, beat Michael Jordan scoring record, beat Kareem scoring record. He's going to be playing with his son like it is, so he has that it factor. I don't know who has that it factor. So I'm going to go with either Luka or Edwards right now.
All right.
Excellent.
Thank you again for your service.
Yep.
We are now joined by someone that I've been hearing your name forever, Morgan & Morgan. And it is not the linebacker for the Carolina Panthers. It is the Dan Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. So you know this guy. How long have you known him?
I've known his father. I met him when he was a youngster. And I'm very proud of him. Nepotism. I believe in respectable nepotism.
Thank you.
So my question to you is, I know your father, hardcore professional, consummate professional. What did he make you go through before he made you a partner?
I did it all. He had me in the call center at age 15. By Florida, when you're first allowed to work at 16, but if your dad owns the business, it's 15. So he read the law, and he had me in there at 15. At 17, he had me down at a spot that called Wonderworks.
Oh, yeah. I remember that.
Upside down house that he owns. He has a couple.
Oh, he owns Wonderworks?
Yeah, he's got like 8 of them now.
Oh, that's one of my favorite places.
Exactly, in Orlando. So I was down there. I was making pizzas. I was doing the arcade. And then 1920, when I was up in UF, I was at Firehouse Subs. Pretty much if I didn't have a job, I wasn't getting any supplement income from him. So I worked from 15 all the way through law school. When I was in law school, I had internships with Dan Fagan. I worked with Mark Cuban. My dad's like, you're not even working, you're partying. I don't even count that. So he cut me off then. And I didn't become a partner until 4 years ago. I've been a lawyer about 10 years. So even when I got out, I've had about 15 to 20 trials now. I've got $1 million verdicts. So until I got those kind of milestones, he wasn't going to allow me to be a partner. So
are you alluding to, is Mr. Morgan here the Bronny James of law? Is
No,
that what you're saying?
No, I wasn't.
I wish.
No, I wasn't even, because I've been asked that question a lot. And I've said this many times. Nepotism does exist, but me, it's all about respectable nepotism.
I know you're tough on your kids. They have a lot to live up to.
Because you know why? Because I follow people like his father. And if they didn't give to their kids easy, and their kids are very successful. Listen, we as parents, we want our kids to be non-troublemakers, happy, and successful. So if this is the blueprint to make your baby successful, I'm all for it. And I tell my kids all the time, you ain't getting none of my goddamn cheese until I see 2 or 3 degrees. That's it. So
we are in Vegas. We will be talking with Dana White. And I imagine you're a big UFC guy.
Uncle Dana. I know Dana as well. We're the official law firm of the UFC. So
okay. So one question about.
Let me tell you something. The Morgans been around a while, brother.
I want to get into a Shaq UFC question, but let's get to that first. Legal elements that may impact a UFC fighter. The most common, and then I also need like one of the more ridiculous ones that has come across your desk.
I mean, the most common is kind of their work status. Are they an employee? Are they an independent contractor? Recently, the UFC kind of settled that out. There was a settlement, I think, 3 or 4 months ago where that's kind of been put to bed. They've made a big payout. I forget, it's hundreds of millions of dollars. Yep. So that one's kind of put to bed. I don't want to talk too much on that because I'm on the UFC side of it. I don't want to ruffle any feathers. But yeah, when you have like work comp injuries, you know, so if you get knocked out during a fight, who's paying for that? The UFC is gracious enough where they do pay for the surgeries and all that goes into it. But other MMA and the WWE and some of these other, you know, they're not as lenient with if you get hurt, that's on you. You should have your own health insurance, things like that. And then kind of the more random ones are not really random, but you know, when you're in bar fights, you know, you have legal weapons in some states. You know, that's
true.
Like
professional fights.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, these are legal weapons in some states. So if you go and knock a guy out for talking, even if he starts it, you knock him out, and you're a UFC fighter, you're in big trouble for that.
Do you have to be a good fighter for them to be considered legal weapons? Do you just have to like fight one time? Like when do they become legal weapons?
I mean, if I was 0-10, I'd take it to a jury and be like, hey, I ain't doing nothing with these. But if I'm 10-0, you most likely have a harder bet. But yeah, I mean, and then, you know, like Jorge Masvidal down in Florida, he kind of took it to the WWE level. He was like chasing down his future opponents and calling them out at restaurants and fighting them and got arrested for assault charges. So there's a line. You got to kind of teeter a little bit.
Now, if Shaq were a fighter, what do you believe his stage name would be?
I mean, you got to kind of lean into it. You might call him the Diesel Truck.
Boo.
You might go with, if he's a submission guy, the Big Shamrock.
Boo.
You got one for me?
Shout out to Kem Shamrock.
I got one, but you can't say it. I can say it.
Say it, please.
Shaq-A the Gorilla. I can say
that's
it.
all you.
That's what I'm saying. I can say it. You can't, but that's exactly what my name would be. Shaq-A the Gorilla.
I'll co-sign it. I won't say it.
I have a question.
Yes.
I'm in a hotel.
Okay.
I hit my head on the door.
Yes.
I injure myself. Do I have a real lawsuit? Yes or no?
I think there potentially is a claim. Is it foreseeable? I think you definitely have a lawsuit, so you can definitely sue over it. Was there an injury? Was it caused by you? Did you know about it? You know.
No, I'm walking to my room and I hit the door frame and I break my neck.
You're looking down at your phone?
No, I was just
walking.
walking.
Walked into it?
Yeah.
Is it an intentional act?
No, it's not intentional.
I mean, I'm going to take the case because it's you. We're going to get a lot of good press out of it. I think we have an argument here. But the normal person, that hotel is not going to foresee that head. So it's really what the clearance is.
Because I hit my head all the time. And one time I hit my head so hard, I thought I was paralyzed, really. Like, I'm not joking. Like,
your legs and arms gave out?
No. So I hit my head so hard. And
that's what paralyzed is.
Can I finish?
Sorry.
I hit my head so hard that when I went to the ground,
I was like, I can't move my body.
Like I hit my head and like I hurt and felt my neck. I was actually scared to try to move my legs. So I just laid on the ground for about 2 minutes and then I was like, okay, I'm good. No, seriously.
But you don't see it?
Yeah, that's the part that he's jury and you got to.
I had on a hat. I had on a hat like that. And the hat was like, no, I promise you, bro.
More like
listen,
this. For the jury, more like this, not like this.
I know I'm a jokester, but y'all think I'm around. I'm not. I had my hat on like this, and I didn't even see it. I was just walking in my room, and I was like, and I just fell, and I was like, please, please, please don't let this be it. And I waited for about 3 minutes, and then I was like, okay. And then I moved my legs, and I was okay. But damn, I messed my neck.
I'd sign it up. I think you could win a jury over. I think we get some money on that.
Got it.
Before we say goodbye to one of the greatest lawyers of all time, Mr. Morgan, I did ask ChatGPT for some Shaq UFC names. The first 10 were a lot like that. You would have hated them.
Go on.
It was Shaq Attack. It was Diesel Domination. It was Shaq Fu Fighting. Awful. So then I said he likes Shaq-A the Gorilla. I don't know if I'm allowed to say that.
You can say it.
Okay.
I'm not though.
Can I get some that are like that? And it wrote Shaq-A the Thriller.
You can't say that.
Boo.
Shaq-Topus the Mighty.
Boo.
Big Shaqzilla.
Boo.
Shaq-A-saurus Rex.
Oh, boo.
The Great Shaqini.
Who's running ChatGPT? A second grader?
It's a computer.
Jeez.
There's no humans running it.
Terrible.
And then Shaq Kong.
Boo. Shaq-A the Gorilla.
Okay. Shaq-A the Gorilla. Have you ever sued anybody?
No, hell no, man. I don't do that.
Okay. But Morgan, we
Can
appreciate
I tell you my worst lawsuit?
Yeah.
Please.
I'm in the car. Convertible. In Beverly Hills. It's me. It's a garbage truck. And it's a fan. The fan is coming by and says, hello, Shaq, and not paying attention and hits the garbage truck.
Oh, no.
I got sued.
And then all the did he go in the truck or did the garbage fall on him?
He
The
hit
fan
it.
sued you?
Yes.
It's not a fan.
Yes. No, he hit the truck. I just drove. I'm like, oh man, I hope it got like I forgot about it. And then
Hope that trash guy's okay.
and then one day I'm at a game. You've been served. And I was like, yes.
And they were saying that because you distracted them, they totaled their car and they ended up in a trash truck.
My guy took care of it, but I'm just saying, like
Morgan and Morgan. If you're ever in a stink,
oh, I already know this.
Pound
You call
law.
Morgan
One
and
call.
Morgan.
Pound law.
pound law,
Pound law. That's all.
pound 3 numbers.
Pound 529 from your cell phone anywhere in America.
Yeah.
I feel weird eating Shaq's face, but it is delicious.